is a bright one. How do I come to that conclusion that this business is going to, will I say, have the test of time? Coca-Cola today, it has been around for over 100 what? Years. The founder is dead, right? It's like almost like the fourth generation. There are so many companies like that across the world because they did not plan for just today. They plan for what? Tomorrow, the future as well. So, next slide. So, when starting a business as a career is now something that have gained so much recognition, right? That's why we are here. As a matter of fact, graduates that come from our universities, we can say they are multitudes, right? From all the universities across Nigeria. Even from one school, you are talking about thousands of people that come out. But unfortunately, there are no jobs for all these persons. There are no jobs for all these persons. And to make it more unfortunate is that some of us have actually studied courses that have faded away with what? With time. Are we together? Faded away with time. Mr. Charles asked our brother here the level of patronage when he started the business of graphic designing and now. And he testified that it has what? Dropped. I know people who, if anything that enters their head, they just make one flyer out of it and they post it anyhow. They don't even know what Cora Draw is. They don't know what photo. But here they have designs of maybe their brand or just name it. So some of us have actually studied courses that have been overtaken with what time. For example, you are not studying. So I don't know who may have studied this course, but it's not an offense. Someone is going to school to study sociology. One of my relations called me that he has gained admission. I said, that's fine, Uniben. What course are you reading? He said foreign language, is it French? Are you getting my point? As this country is now, there's only one option if you are studying French. You want to cheat a teacher. Though those days, when you study French, you have a high probability of working with maybe the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But today is now what? Saturated. And that makes it more difficult for people to even what? Get jobs. So people are now deciding to take their future where? In their hands. To say, okay, I want to be a boss of my own. I want to be a boss of my own. And that has been the trend. And that's the idea behind this whole entrepreneurship that is all around. Next slide. So, what are the reasons for this entrepreneurial drive? First, there's this desire to reduce what? Unemployment and create more jobs. That's why normally in our screening process, when you put up when you apply for liveWIRE generally, especially when it's very competitive, we look at there are some percentage of scoring. One of them is, will this business generate employment opportunities? If it will generate, like how many persons? There are some businesses that, for example, a POS business, how many persons will they employ? It will be more than one now. Or will you employ 10 persons to be manning one POS point? Are you getting my point? Compared to someone who is saying, I want to process food, there are different what? Stages. So there may be one person in this stage, one person in this stage. You get my point? So that's one thing we look at when we look at the screening. Will it generate employment? Another thing is that there's an increasing recognition of important role of micro, small, medium-sized businesses into economic building in the nation, and that's what we are having today. Before, when politicians are campaigning to say we provide jobs will create jobs. Most of the time, it's not that they will give you what employment opportunity or your employment later. No, it may be in form of what, giving you a grant, like what liveWIRE is all about, so that you can start a business. When you start a business, are you employed? No. You are the first employee of that business. Employed. So that is one. Then there is also a desire for young people to own their businesses, right? We have a sister who was working for a school, and she was like, she's getting tired of the whole. You know how private schools, I don't know who has taught here before, everything that can be taken will be taken from you. And she was like, she's tired of waking up 5 a.m. rush to meet up with school, stress herself, and at the end, I think the payment for schools in Port Harcourt is relatively higher. When I was here, I remember a friend telling me that they pay him close to 40,000. That was like 2017. But to shock you that there are some places like in Delta that still pay teachers, graduates, 30,000, 20-something thousand. And that's what she wakes up every morning to return 4 o'clock. And the funny part is, those who went to school, closing time we know is what?
1, 2 p.m., 2 p.m.
2 o'clock at most.
Highest,
some school is 1:30.
Yes.
2 o'clock. But these days, it shocks us to see that children are kept in school till like 4. It's called lesson, but to me it's not even lesson. Because something, you now have a curriculum that builds, because what we understood as when we went to school was that when you close from school, you go home, you eat, refresh, and return back to. But is that what we have? No. Are you getting my point? It was just something like they just increased the time, and it's not part of the time. I thought too. When I was teaching, when that concept came up, the director was like, "They will not be closing this." I said, "I don't want to do lesson. I want to go home. You can do your lesson, but I want to go home." But I stayed back when I now had to handle some children who have a reading problem. But that one was like lesson. They close normally, and those that are interested in lesson stay back. Why those that are not interested, you go home. But gradually, it now became a part of the thing. So you imagine stressing yourself all through, and what you just have is 20-something thousand naira or 30-something thousand naira, even lower than the minimum wage. So there are some people that say, "No, I want to have control over my time." And the sister, she started a POS business like a month ago. This is the second month. I will try to give her the money to facilitate, and she was like, in 1 month she made close to 70,000. When she was being paid 22,000. And this one, nobody has to come and wake up by 5 a.m. She's now making close to ×3 of what she was being paid as a POS operator. Are you getting my point? So that's a desire. So many people want to have the full control of their life. The truth is like what Mr. Shegun said earlier. Even those that work in shell desire to be what? Owners of their business. That's the truth. Are we getting the point? The desire. There was when we had Ogbia liveWIRE program in 2018, right? 2018. There is our Madam Joy. We used to call liveWIRE Mama before I over to the Neokecci. And I was like, man, all these share people. Then I just got involved newly and all that. Say, man, they enjoy you and all that. So that period we stayed in the same hotel. Could you believe that this old woman was still working by 1 a.m.? Are you getting my point? When before they call you Mama, like you know the person is old, she retired or so. Was still working by what? 1 a.m. So don't think because someone is working in shell, then the person has what? A smooth. The salary may be attractive, but most of them still want to have what? A situation whereby they can sleep and their money still what? Still working. But if you don't meet up with the targets, you'll be having issues, maybe queries and all that. So many people want to really have their own what business, and with technological improvements on daily basis, there are still what business opportunities that are what opening up, like this POS. Before now, nobody was talking about POS, right? Who can remind us what was the business that was attached to umbrellas before now? Phone call, thank you. Selling of what? Recharge card. But technology improved. And what happened to selling of recharge card? Very few people. Anybody that does that as an attachment to what? A business. Not that you woke up, you say what I am doing is what? Selling of recharge card. The person will, so people will look at you like a second time. Now even the POS operators, they still sell what? So technology improved. Some businesses what faded away, and the technology gave birth to what? New business. So as technology improved, there is what room for what? Business. And young people, different people, even older people, there are some businesses that are started by old men, right? I can't remember the man. Kentucky Fried Chicken. We heard of that?
Yeah.
The founder, he founded that company at the age of 60 something or so.
65.
I can't remember the exact, but an old man who should be retiring, right? But still found his feet at that old age. And so that also for young people like us, do we have a limit? No. Next slide, please. So jobs are not secure. That's another issue. Are jobs secured?
No.
There was one time some of the people we work with in Shell, but we do different things. Apart from liveWIRE, we do different things for Shell, like community development parts, monitoring of projects and all that. And some of those our orgas then, we start seeing them, and the question when we ask, our orgas, we say, orgas don't go. Don't go, not me say he resigned. There was what? Layoffs. Because of the condition, that was the COVID-19 period. No, COVID-19 exposed so many things. It showed that there are some people that are working here that we don't really want. Right? I went to EcoBank branch in Ughelli. They used to have, when it was formerly Oceanic Bank, it was Oceanic that was taken over by EcoBank. They used to have 4 branches in Ughelli, 4. Because the CEO then, the Hebrew family, they are from that Ughelli Aziz. So almost everyone that my first account was even the Oceanic Bank. Everybody is. But now, immediately EcoBank took over, one branch closed, the one opposite my house. The next one closed. And recently, so there were only 2 in the whole of the town. I went to the one, this branch will be temporarily closed. But I laughed because the other ones that closed like 10 years ago was also temporarily what? Closed. But till today, they have not been what? Open. So do you think as they close, they are moving all the staff? So COVID-19 has shown that with this challenge of the fintechs, OPE, Kuda, has shown that you can actually operate a bank from just one place, from Lagos. And they are now having, I was reading on the Money Point, is it Money Point or Pampe? One of them declaring that they now have over 25 million customers. It's Pampe, I remember now. I was trying to read their interest rate on their savings. But anyway, Pampe, over 25 million. I don't think Zenith Bank has that number of what? Customers. Are you getting my point? Yes. But they are nowhere, like they are not close to you. But from the comfort of your home, I opened an account. For my 2 phone numbers, I opened where I was sitting. And that is the whole thing. So as life has moved on, the bankers, their jobs are now rendered what? As if they are no longer what? Needed. So what will even happen now is that even the conventional banks will now start closing their branches. That's what we are saying. So they will not think, okay, instead of having multiple branches, we can just have one liaison office in one state. And that's what MoneyPoint is doing, just one in each state in case of any physical physical operation that they need to do. And that is now coming as things change. The jobs are not what? Secured. Especially when you are working for a private enterprise. The owner can just wake up and say, this set of people go. But for government, you will always be there. But even at that, when funds come short, what happens is that you may be working and not receiving what? I heard in Abia State, in the previous government, there were people who have worked for 1 year. Even more, I wanted to say more than 1 year, but I said let me be lenient with my to the point, because I have someone who has a relation that is married to an Abia man and they relocated to Abia State, and she was telling me that they are saying they need to pay school fees. The children are in government schools. In order not to shut down the schools, they are not being paid. So the teachers now take what? Small. So government school became what? A private school. So that's the situation we have. Jobs are not secure. Next slide. So what now? What should we do? Jobs are not secured. Even people that are making millions are still looking for what? Side income, right? Dangote has been the richest man for several years, but just this year they are still launching another new business line. Dangote what? Refineries. So if Dangote, there's a couple that says if Dangote is still looking for me, if Dangote they find money, who be me? That I should not look for money. So what should we do now? Should I cry? Should we cry? Will that solve any problem? Not at all. Next slide. So for this training, we will need to understand some things, because they are key to understanding what a business is like and what is expected of us. First of all, we understand the concept of an enterprise. What is an enterprise? And who is an entrepreneur? The characteristics of what? An entrepreneur. We also understand the process of creative thinking process. Mr. Charles has already started that, so I won't even go much, because that will be repeating this design thinking often. Then we also look at how to generate business ideas. How can you generate business ideas? Next slide. For we evaluate the ideas generated. How do you evaluate the ideas generated? Then know the steps to take in starting a business. So we'll take some of them. We may not exhaust all, because subsequent modules will still look at them in detail. Maybe today we'll start the canvas. We'll share cardboard papers to you. The sessions will do that, and we'll look at that. Next slide. So 3 birds sitting on a pipeline. I don't know if you've heard of this anecdote before. So you have 3 birds, maybe perching on a tree, on a pipeline, depending on where you are. And 2 said, we are going to fly from here. And 1 flew off. So how many birds actually flew from there? 1 or 2? Or the 3? I said 3 birds are perching on the tree or a pipeline. 2 said they will fly away. And 1, out of the 3 now, 2 said that. Then 1 flew off. And I'm asking how many? How many birds are remaining? 2. So deciding is not the same thing as what? Acting. There's a parable in the Bible. Sorry, we like talking about Bible because I'm a Christian as well. Jesus gave a parable. Say a man called his 2 sons and told them, go walk in my what? In my vineyard. Say the first one said, I go, sir. Let me use the exact words of King James. I go, sir. Then the second one said, I will not what? I will not go. But after that, after the father left, the first one said, Jesus said he repented and decided to what? To go and work. Then the one who said I will go, never what? Never went. Who did the will of the father? The second one. So it's not about what we have said, but it's about what we are what? We are doing. Mr. Ecoman gave us an example. He was fantasizing on an idea in his head about what? Palm wine. Huh? The process he was thinking of that. Someone is already what? Already. So it doesn't end with what we feel we want to do, but with what? What we are doing exactly. Next slide. So let's look at some definitions. Enterprise. So it's a business venture aimed at making money or wealth, right? Huh? Is that not the main aim? Yes, we talk about needs. We talk about the needs it will meet and all those things, problem it will solve. But the idea is, are you solving problem because you love the people? No. Huh? Is it Adam Smith in England? We say it is not for the love of the consumer that the butcher wakes up every morning to go and what? Cut meat or sell meat. After all, you don't even know the people in the first place. Do you know who is going to patronize you? You don't know them. You may only have this category of pregnant women will like my product. But do you know if it's Ineka or it is Shoma? You don't know. So the first thing is that as you are entering into an enterprise, it's actually to make what? Wealth, to make money. And like I said before, that money you are to make is not something that must be made at once or today. Whether you are deferred, when I mean deferred, put in front, postponed when you will get the profit, or you are getting, we are in the business to do what? It doesn't include key issues like self-reliance, self-promotion, improving community living standard. Self-reliance. We know what it means to rely on self. That is self-reliance. Self-promotion. And also what? Improvement of our living standards. Next slide. Okay. So more definitions. An enterprise can be a venture, project, or undertaking where the community is the main what? Beneficiary, rather than the people running the business. If you look at it, it looks as if they are contradictory. We are talking about making wealth. That means for you now, you are not making wealth for other people. But in the long run, are you actually making wealth for the community? You make money and you go to the market to buy. Are you spreading that money you have made?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
In economics, there's something we say creating money. Is it creating money? Say, okay, how banks create money? I go and deposit, I have made well, I go and deposit 10,000. This is the bank. He gives it as what? A loan. Huh? It's on record that I have 10,000. That 10,000 has moved to Mr. Gilbert. Huh? And Mr. Gilbert engages what? Contractors or something. You see the point? The 10,000 is creating what? Some chain effects in the what? Economy. So in the long run, it's still the community that what? That benefits. Are we getting the point? Even from your own end. Then now looking at the enterprise itself. The enterprise is existing for the sake of what? The community, the society. It's what? They're rendering that service to. Next slide. Now, we can actually have some benefits for the individual. We also have some benefit for what? The society. So for the individual, you say self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency in the sense that you can actually decide to a large extent what your income would be. But immediately you take up a paid employment, you cannot tell your boss that this month my needs are much. So that salary we need to double. Does that happen? Doesn't happen. There's an agreement signed that this will be your remuneration, and you stick to it. If you are not okay, you what? You resign. But for the entrepreneur, someone in the enterprise, you can actually, to a large extent, decide. So if you have been doing POS business, I say, okay, let me expand this. What I see, most of the time when I pass through some POS stands, especially in the Delta where I'm based, they now add things like perfume. You just see perfume and other on the table. Huh? They have decided to increase their what? Income. So as an entrepreneur, you can actually have that self-sufficiency. You are independent, being your own manager. You are innovative and creative. You may have the best idea, but when you work under someone, can you implement it? Huh? No. You can just say, this thing will be good. You say, hey, it will be good. No problem, but it's like you start your own business before you implement that. So you become innovative. You also improve your interaction skills with people. Then you also learn how to make profitable decision-making skills. Because when, okay, there's a popular quote from Abraham Lincoln. You know, Abraham Lincoln is known for so many times he contested what? Elections and did not win. And when he finally won to become president of the United States, and he was asked how he felt when he failed all the times, he said, no, he didn't fail, but he actually learned how not to what? To fail in all those what? In all those times. So it's a thing of what? Mindset. People see that you have failed, but the man sees it as what? So that is not the route. Let me pass another place. So that's actually what happens when you are engaged as what? An entrepreneur. You acquire skills on how to manage people. You have the freedom to make life work more satisfying. It gives opportunity to be known and become a model. It gives that opportunity. But the issue with paid employment is that as time goes on, every employee is replaceable. Am I correct?
Yes.
Everybody is replaceable. Nobody is indispensable. Yes, it may be difficult to find someone of your skill, but with time they will what? They will get it. So you also have enterprise skills, learning different in the process. They say practice make what? Practice make perfect. If you are not engaged in it, there's no way you can perfect the what? The skills. Even like in football, if someone is not going for training, what happens? You drop form, right? Drop form. Before you look, start adding weight like me, and you can no longer run where? On the field. So practice make perfect. Next slide. So, benefit of enterprise to society. Next. To the society. Like I said before, the enterprise, yes, you are the one, you are engaged in it to make what? Profit, right? But in the long run, does it affect society? Huh? It does. It affects society. That's actually one of the arguments of capitalism. That yes, if the individual progresses, the individual will in the long run what? Affect the growth of what? Society. Socialism will say the individual should not what? Make that high profit at the expense of the society. Now, look at the point. Both systems actually portrays that they want to help the society, but in different means. So in socialism, you see the government trying to allocate and curtail how people. As a matter of fact, in a socialist society, you cannot see a multi-billionaire. Are you getting my point? Take much from the person that has, you say, from each according to his ability, and to each according to his wants. So when they take. But it has been proven, at least practically, that capitalism is the best form. I may call Marxist, but when you look at it, even China, as a socialist country, had to turn capitalist economically but remain communist politically. Are you getting the point? So because immediately I know that as I work more, I earn it, because as I work more, it will be given to people that are, because as okay, do I not in a one house. So in socialist society, say okay, you already have one house. So as you work more, you're actually working for other people. And if they are in social, what now discourages that socialism is that people that no longer that don't engage in anything can still receive something from the government. But when people are allowed to make money, you now have what? That desire to put in more effort. And the point is this: when you now put in more effort, when you make more money, like Dangote now establishing a refinery, will it be the one to work there? No. Eh? So in the long run, society is what? Benefiting. Because as it's making money, society, people from society are what? Being engaged. And that's it. So employment opportunity, that's what I've explained before. Violence and crime is what? Reduced. They say an idle mind is what? Devil's workshop. When people are idle, when they are not doing anything, there will be room for them to start thinking of what? Violence, social vices. And also it contributes to the economic growth of the nation, supports community cohesion and unity. Where there is money, in my language, I have an adage that if this person has, and this one has, say, na there the sweet. Are we getting the point? When we are all successful businessmen and we are helping our families, will our families be happy? Members of the family will be what? Will be happy. And observation. Now, if you have not talked to anybody, you cannot observe. In research, I believe all of us did research. For us to graduate, you must have done some research. There is we have a type of data. We have something, information that is internal, and information that is what? External. So there are some information, data you can just stay on the site through observatory method and you get your data. But when you want to talk about things like how people feel about something, can you sit here, look at Gilbert and say how he feels about the lecture? No. Huh? Though you may want to say the way his face is looking, like this guy is the best. Huh? The way he smiles is like he enjoys the. But the truth is, you can only get the true feeling when you what? You ask him. Are you getting what you survey? When you ask him. So, you see an area. Okay, let me use this illustration to portray what Sasha said earlier. Now, you find out that so many of them are single. Then someone replied and said, go near them and you see the reason why they are single. Do you understand the? So, if people are here, there's land. Why are people not what? Farming tomato. So you must ask around. Why? There is land. Why are people not farming cucumber compared to the north? Or watermelon? So you need to ask those people that are into farming, even though the person is not farming watermelon. You can ask, have you ever thought of watermelon before? And he can share his what? Experience. Are we getting the point? Someone posted, one of my friends posted on Facebook recently and said, it's not really true that experience is the best teacher. When you promote that, you will let people die in what? Their experience. In other words, mindset is that you should be able, there's nothing new under the sun. That's what the Bible said, right? There's nothing you want to start now that someone has not thought about before. So you should be able to ask people, what is your experience in this? So you learn from their experience. You don't need to say, okay, this man said he grew a cucumber. He did not succeed. Me, I want to do it. Let me see what really happened. When you can simply ask the the person what actually transpired when you engaged in this business. I was talking with some years ago. I saw some young guys, they graduated from Uniport in Delta, in one of those villages. They were growing cucumber, and if you see their cucumber, like that was the first time I actually saw someone growing cucumber in this part. And I asked him, how do you do it? And he said he studied agric in school, and that what they are using is the improved seedling. So that means they have studied the weather condition, the climate texture, and the soil texture and everything in this part, and they know that there's something missing in the soil. Are you getting my point? And some are through scientific method, they now add that thing that is what? Missing.
Soil treatment.
Soil treatment, and even to the seedling itself. And you see them, and what they do is that they don't even grow this thing during the rainy season. You know, cucumber thrives with water, so they don't even grow during the rainy season. They grow it during the what? The dry, when cucumber is now what? Scarce. And they have different methods, and I saw what they were doing. So you must be able to ask people that, okay, what is your experience? Someone was wanted to go into fish farming, and he said, okay, he wants to grow tilapia. But if you have asked the fish farmer, because so many people, there are people that don't eat catfish. I don't eat catfish. Are you getting my point? There are some people that don't eat catfish. But do you wonder why people are not rearing tilapia? So if you don't ask these questions, you may run into what? Problems. And yeah, we are not talking, yes, we need to practice make perfect, but there are some mistakes that you will make that you may not be able to recover from. Like you manage to gather 5 million naira and you want to use it to what? To gamble. Because that's what I see it. When you go into a business you are not sure of, you're actually what? Gambling. Because when it is lost, a friend shared an experience with me that the man was telling her that when he was laid off, but he had saved so much money. He said he had about some millions of naira. One woman told him that if he goes to the north to buy onions, that she has a ready market. And this man launched the whole bulk of the money into the business. The woman bought one bag. But yeah, where are the other customers now? The woman could not bring one person. And even the one she bought, she could not even finish paying for it. That was how all the onion, the perishable produce, got bad. He just tried to salvage and all those things. And what happened? He lost all the money. Are we together? He lost. So you have to research and what? And we have to research and what? And engage in designing. Next slide. So resourcing, we know that no business will survive without what? Resources. Whether financial resources or what? Human resources. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Next slide. Okay. Then we talk about marketing. You market your products, right? You're not just going to do it and keep it inside your house. Somebody needs to what? To buy it. So we are having a situation. We're having a situation. So we'll just try and wrap up in the next 10 minutes, if not less than. Something unexpected that they want to use this place for another program. So, but normally we're not supposed to close by this time. But we'll see how we can rectify that. So,
sorry, we'll run over the remaining part of this module. early tomorrow morning when you get that.
So that we can actually stop here because of this information. So let me look at the next slide, sir. Mr. Come on. Okay, let's we'll start evaluation and what? Feedback. Now this is the point. One problem we have, most of us, is that we don't look at for what? The feedback from our different enterprise. Are we getting the point? Now, when you ask people questions or when you market, do you bother to hear from them what their view is? Are we together? Because when we get the feedback, that will now lead to what? Product what? Improvement, right?
Yes.
But if you don't listen to feedback, if you don't have a feedback mechanism, if the only feedback mechanism you have is the because there's one you must see, your patronage, Abi.
Yes.
You must see that one because it will determine whether money is entering your pocket or no. That's the one so many of us are looking out for. But you may be having patronage today, and you don't care about how the market feels about your product. In little or no time, what will happen? You feel that. So you are doing something in a particular way. You don't bother to talk to your customers. In which way do you think it will be better? Let me use this as an example. Carbell milk. They are the ones that started this sachetization of our economy. No one knows sachetization. Even pizza now have sachet. Everything because the poverty rate is what? Is high.
Exactly.
So there's a marketer in Carbell then. I was like, how do we take over from peak milk? Peak milk was high. Not everyone could get it. So, but if people was listening to the consumers, they will know that what about if we get something where we feel afford? But there was no listening. They felt they had the control of the market. Then poof, Carbell came out with 5 naira milk those days. From 5 naira, I heard that milk is now 70 naira. Are you getting the point? And people started so many in the rural area. What you see they consume is what? Carbell, our milk. We remember that advert. So that is the point. So when you get feedback, you will know when to what? To change, to strategize. You don't take for granted who your competitors are. When we look at the business model canvas, you will see that you have competitors. People that want to be in your shoes. So even as you are flying high, you must be looking
Corners.
not just corner, looking down to see who is trying to push you up the what? The ladder.
Okay.
So we'll stop here. Tomorrow we will continue. Thank you. So if there are any questions for the part we have taken, you can just note it down so that tomorrow you can ask and we'll start with that.